talk about finding the average speed of an object. Average speed is a little bit different than what we talked about before with finding speed. The speed is just distance traveled in a specific amount of time. So if I look over here at the graph, this first little piece is going to have a different speed than the second piece, and it's going to have a different speed than the third piece. Now, if I'm talking about the average speed, I'm talking about the total distance traveled divided by the total time spent. So instead of coming and drawing a triangle where I find 2 points, I'm not going to be drawing my triangle. I am going to take the total distance that the object traveled. So I'm going to mark that over here on the graph. The total distance is the highest that it travels over here on the graph. So that's total distance divided by the total amount of time spent. So the total amount of time, remember we count time across here. So I'm going to count those blocks and figure out how many seconds it took for this object to travel that distance. So first thing, I'm going to come over here. I start at 0 in the corner, and I'm going to count up and see how far this object traveled. And remember that each block is worth 1, and our unit for distance is meters. It's labeled over here on the graph right there. It says we're measuring this in meters. So the object traveled 7 meters. So I'm going to write over here 7 meters. And then I'm going to come over here and I'm going to count my time and see how long it took for that object to travel that 7 meters. All right, so it took 11 seconds for it to travel 7 meters. And the definition for average speed says it's the total distance traveled divided by the total time spent. So it's 7 meters divided by 11 seconds. Okay, so that is the average speed for that object. I'm going to go ahead and write my fraction right here. And since this can't be reduced, that is my final answer. If it could be reduced, it is smart to always reduce your answers, especially if you're looking at a multiple choice answer. A lot of times they will not give you an answer that is not reduced. So that might be why you don't see your answer in the answer choices. So it's always really smart to reduce your answer. Now, I can't just leave this the way it is. I've got to say that it's meters per second. I've got to give my unit. And that's it. That's how we find the average speed of an object.